Today's gospel from Luke begins like many in our family conversations, with somebody interrupting. And probably like in our families, the topic then changes very quickly. It goes from Jesus trying to reassure the disciples about not fearing about persecution for their faith to being on guard against the vice of greed. Now, given our current economy, it might seem implausible to have so much financial success that we'd be like the man tearing down his barns and silos to build up bigger ones. An analogy might be like having our IRAs or our savings accounts being so full, so profitable, that they exceeded the amount we could keep in one, so we'd need to find others to store our wealth. Some of you are smiling. Imagine that. We pray. But maybe this isn't such a bad time to hear this message from Jesus. A time when so many are worried and more aware of the fragile nature of our ability to do things like buy groceries, heat our homes, pay rent, and fill our cars with gasoline, etc. My brothers and sisters, Jesus is trying to help us, whether we are in feast or famine or somewhere in between, to keep God at the center of our lives each day. In the case of the man in the parable, the problem isn't his success. It's not even his wonderment about how to store his grain. But it is that he is so focused on himself. His words, my harvest, my barns, my grains, reveal his mindset. And did you ever notice how easy it is to get self-absorbed when we succeed at something? You probably heard the expression, success breeds success. And yet success can also cause us to wrongly believe that we don't need others, that we don't think about others, sometimes even God. One counterexample that we can look to in counterposition to the man in the parable is Joseph from the book of Genesis. Someone who knew hardship and yet collected abundant grain to feed others. That doesn't happen without Joseph or any of us looking at earthly things, whether it's negative or positive, from the perspective of eternity. The man in the parable, he was too busy thinking about himself to thank God for a successful harvest. And so he didn't remember God's teaching about caring for those in need. My brothers and sisters, Jesus wants us to remember today to store up treasures in heaven by our caring for others. And though it isn't easy during these times of economic uncertainty, Jesus wants to reassure us not to be afraid. He wants us to be good stewards of our resources, of whatever we have, to turn to him, like Joseph, for guidance every day, so that we may be wise stewards and generous stewards here on earth and rich one day in heaven. May God bless you and your families this holy day, and let us take some time today to thank God for all he has given us. May God bless us. May we bless others with what we've been given.